Hello everyone, this is your host, RC0538, and I'm bringing you some more Wargame Red Dragon. I know, more Wargame Red Dragon, but I really like this game, and this was a really cool match. Really went back and forth at times. Mostly regarding the naval aspect of this map. Now, I'm using a East German general deck, and yeah, we lost one of our teammates already, Bruno. Yeah, so this is the naval version of the map. So yeah, and definitely was an interesting part of it. So yep, I'm going to be taking this far right side. And yeah, with that, let's just get rolling. Alright, now, because I am using a national deck, I got a lot of units. And also because one of our teammates left, I have a lot of units. Now here we have an Mi-24D with some Kampfschwimmer inside of it. That's the East German sniper team. Then we have some of the KHS Mi-8TBs, just some cheap gunships. Bringing these hopefully to rush the enemy, provide some fire support. We'll just see how well these guys end up doing. Usually I don't like them, but here they kind of worked out alright. They did a pretty good job, actually. I'll get some SPW-70s with some Iglas in them. SPW-80s with some LCR in them, some more Iglas in the SPW-80s, a couple of gun trucks here, these FLA MG SPW 152Es, wow, long name, talk about mouthful, talk about old gun trucks. These are made in the year 1957, and yeah, they've got some armor on them. They're not bad, but they're definitely not the best. They're not as good as they were, as they were in their glory days. Here we have some, an Earl. We've got some, I believe, Grenzers. Now, the Grenzer are just some, like 5-10 point, recon infantry, just some reserve, infantry. I'm gonna pause this, though, so that way we get to see everything. I've got a couple of T-72Ss. Now, these were recently reduced in price if you didn't see the, patch rants, but I feel like this is a pretty good change. They're now only 125 points, and they have 20 armor penetration on the gun. The accuracy could be better, but they're very formidable main battle tanks, as Blue 4 will learn. Oh, that was Russian. As Blue 4 will learn. Yeah, well, that was my attempt at the German accent. We shall see how that goes later. We got some BMP-2s in here with the Motorschützen. I've got some of these BMP-1s, with just the Groms. I've got some more Motorschützen in here, and then I've got the 90s coming in, the BMP-2, and just the normal Motorschützen coming in there. And then to back them up, I've got some Strela 10Ms and a T-72M1. And so yeah, that's kind of what I'm opening with over there. Seed's going in though, using it for its not seed capabilities. Instead of using it for the Molnias and such. Now, my opponent must have gotten these out late. Got some ships spawning in there. Now we got our Mi-8 though. Probably trying to get some shots on it with the Draken. That's when I started seeing some of these Embaphils coming along the road. Elite trained, so yeah, he's got some real tough stuff in here. Over he's offloaded his RBS 90s. Taking some fire. Yeah, so their ATGMs managed to kill one of those, Embaphils. And then, yeah, just stunning them with the Mi-8's rockets. So, yeah, the Mi-8 rockets are just destroying some of these cheap transports. And, yeah, they're also just eliminating whatever I can get him to kill. There's stunning, panicking, the whole lot. And then, yeah, he pushes in the LVK 90s, and that's when, yeah, they're kind of done. Got a couple of these FLAs, though. These cheap gun trucks, and they're in the town already. They're just going to shoot at whatever they come across. Ambushing the transports again. I think that was probably one of these. Nope, wasn't one of them. Must have been the XA, A and O, or the tanks, something of that sort. So first seed missile goes in, it hits, other one goes way off course, and yeah, doesn't hit. Just seeing what I can see, though. Yeah, I know that there's stuff in here. I saw the S-tanks that were moving about. Earl got destroyed because I just sent it out over here. Just to see how far I can get it. However, yeah, they're just taking some fire from the FSKs, who are just a bit too close to engage with their other weaponry, but the Kustjägers are not. Yeah, so he went ahead and he started bombing this position, and this really stung, at least in my mind it did. So yeah, he killed off some transports and a group of LSTRs, and they do not come cheap. These are great units, but they are 35 points, so it's not the kind of unit that you want to lose. Okay, he's got the STR V103s, and I'm bringing up these guys. I was busy micromanaging some of the forces that were rushing ahead. Yeah, he's got these S-tanks, the STR V103s. I went over these in my Swedish armor deck review if you want to see a bit more, and not by a bit more, I mean a lot more in-depth review of these guys, but they're pretty good at dealing with swarms or a lot of enemy forces, and that's because they do have a very high rate of fire, and in addition to having that, they also pretty good armor penetration, but good accuracy, but once again, the gun is mounted in the hull of the tank. There is no turret, so it will not fire on the move at all. It has to turn the entire vehicle in order for it to do any damage. However, the KPZ T-72 here is firing his sphere missiles. One of the unique things about Russian-made main battle tanks is that they do carry that ATGM. However, it's not always the most accurate. And neither is that 54% accuracy the most indicative of the actual accuracy of it, it feels like. Oftentimes I feel like this has maybe an accuracy of 35%, just given how often it misses. However, at that point I realized while we both have the same range, his tanks cannot penetrate mine at this range. His tanks only have 16 armor penetration, and my tank has 18 frontal armor. So while my tank is right here, and, you know, we're at the same engagement range, he simply cannot kill my tank at this range. He'd have to close in, at which point I was hoping that the LSCRs could help kill off some of them, as well as the T-72 M1 over here. So yeah, there's all that to take into consideration. All the while trying to get some shots with this guy. And he's doing a fair job. Almost got a chance to see. You can see how they're pretty damaged. They're not doing the best. T-72 M1 misses that shot, and they finish him off. Bell 412 coming in. Not quite sure what it's carrying, but whatever it is, it's pretty elite. You know, it's, well, it is at elite, I should say. Meanwhile, I'm getting my other KPZ T-72 as it's gonna push in as well. Like I said, I really like these tanks. They're great workhorse tanks. They'll really do what's asked of them. They really will. In the meantime, doing another seed run. Gonna see if we can't kill off, see if they have some, I don't know, some more LVKs or whatnot. More of those imbeciles. Also have some transports over here. Managed to kill off one of those tanks, which was, well, that was good. Means less firepower for the whole group. And yeah, I really like, it's a decent, I guess you could say, I guess you could call it a decent unit for that. It's not too expensive. Just be careful though, it can be vulnerable at times. Meanwhile, the S-tanks have taken up position watching this area. Now the issue he's got here is he has totally filled up his buildings. His buildings are entirely full, so yeah, that's a huge issue. What I would have done in this situation, or I think a very plausible solution to this might have been to, well, not kept your guys out in the open would be one. But was to actually just regroup them. You could have just regrouped these into a block of 4. It makes them extremely expensive at, what, 35 times 4? Yeah, you're looking at the very, very high cost. You're looking at about 140 points that you're spending there. That's more than I spent on my KBZ T-72. Meanwhile, I believe the Malka over here from Bill is putting down a lot of fire on this town. They are not doing so well now. And you can just see the effects of a Malka firing. It has 10 AG power, and boom, that's some of their guys down there. They're panicked. They're also panicked. It's just basically everybody in a bad spot. Meanwhile, pushing up my Strela 10Ms. Let's make sure that they can get in the action as well. Yeah, in the meantime, he's got that STRV 103. But yeah, he's just not in a good spot. And then that's when I try to get these LSTRs to get in there. I was hoping they would be more stunned than they ended up actually being. And yes, they got some good kills on my guys. Or the T-72s are engaging from beyond the range of the enemy's laws, and this is one of the issues with having both building blocks full. If you have both of them full, then yeah, it's going to be much more difficult. However, yeah, we didn't end up killing that puff off. That was a bit annoying. Yep, well, even though his firing computer was reset, he manages to get a nice lucky shot on it. So yep. Now we've also got another Kustiegre left in this building. So I, of course, have my T-72S going in. He's shaken, but not dead yet. So at this point, I was getting quite close to the enemy forces, and I bet this was a bit of maybe, not to say bad micro on his part. He could have done an exceptional amount of damage had he instead gone for that T-72S. Now, I, for one, am really thankful that he didn't, because, yeah, that just meant that I could get more kills on him. Now, at this point, I was engaging him from a couple of angles, so we managed to kill off that. And those Drakens keep escaping, which is kind of annoying. By kind of annoying, I mean it's really annoying. First missile, though, sails over the BMP-1. I'm like, yeah, you gotta attack this, but by then, it's out of missiles. Realizing that, pushing up my Strela 10s to give more cover, well, I should say, like, nude cover, I guess, for them. And I've also got some command units coming in, so we can maximize the amount of income we have. Over here, we're doing okay, but this is when the naval action started. So yeah, now they've got a naval force. And that's when we started having some issues. And by some issues, I mean we had a lot of issues. At least from that. Was not pretty. So we got our Mokshitsin going in. Being supported by that T-72S. It's just picking off targets as they come along. And yeah, these RBS-90s just don't stand a chance. At this point, I see this and I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, we really needed that Navy. And so this is what happened. I'm going to speed this up. But, I mean, this. Yeah, things did not look good once we got to this point in the match. Yeah, this is not what you want to see. I tried to do some seed runs on it, but it just didn't do anything. It's very difficult when that is the situation. Meanwhile, in order to counter some of those helicopters, which are now dead, but some of the helicopters. We're going to go ahead and put the FLAs over here. We're now engaging some of these helicopters as they come by, but I didn't realize, like, had I known about this, I would have been a bit less concerned about pushing it up a bit more. But yeah, there's a ridge here, so that way they can't, like, continually fire over this position. Really complicates any naval landing. Of course, they can shoot through there. Oh my gosh. Someone's using a blowpipe? You, like, literally have to be... I'm sorry, but why are you using a blowpipe? I'd rather have a Strela 2 than a blowpipe. Meanwhile, I'm bringing in as many tanks as I can, which may seem odd considering this is a very forested region. However, tanks are the improvised way of dealing with the enemies, all that, with all the enemies' ships and such. The enemy wrongfully assuming that it was free to come in at this point, yeah. Started engaging some of these ships here. Once again, we neutralize the zone. Yeah, these T-72S, you can see they're taking a hammer. I mean, they're still alive, but they're just taking a hammer. These guys have been firing computer reset. It's not a good situation. Meanwhile, we're firing at them with artillery. We're firing at them with literally everything we can get our hands on at this point that does any damage. Besides aircraft, because his AA net is super tight. So he's rushing in some T-64 to try to deal with the Commando Marines. Yeah, this was really, really not a good situation. And I can't just state that enough. It was just bad, especially with all these helicopters here. That made it very difficult to use tanks at that point. But yeah, then all of a sudden they were very sneaky and got some forces in here. So they're immediately capitalizing on it, landing some Fallschirmjäger. I don't know how they have so many of these guys. Yeah, especially at elite. Especially at elite. Unless they probably took some guys in the naval tab. Oh, but again, why are they coming in the helicopters? Odd. PMP-1's engaging. Yep, but he's got some Jaeger in here, and we're just trying to kind of hold our own here on this side. Meanwhile, I really wish I had pushed here. I mean, the SCR-V103 is going to cause a problem. The Laro TOW-2s are going to cause a big problem. But at the same time, though, I mean, there's not much here. Now, I don't know why he's got these AMOS back here. They're really not going to do much good over here unless you're trying to suppress this area. Saying, hey, I'm going to drop some mortars here, trying to kill it off, and trying to make sure that the KA-52 would, for whatever reason, not get killed in the blast. And that was some of the enemy's own artillery that killed off the Jaeger. But yeah, holy crap, he's got Lafayette's, Hatsuyuki's, everything over here, and that was just insane. Now, one of the things I also found out, and I hope Wargame patches this, is that tanks, for some reason, are affected by the Lafayette's ECM. They better change that soon, if not immediately. And that makes it's just really weird. You know, if I'm firing a tank shell at this, I mean, if anything, there should be an accuracy buff. I mean, not hitting it is like not hitting the broadside of a barn. And probably the broadside of, like, 3 barns, to be honest. I mean, really? This... You know, I don't get that. And I really hope they change it. mean, maybe it's a bit of a bug, but that is one patch I would not mind having, because that is something that desperately would need changed. I mean, tanks, unguided weapons aren't affected by ECM. You can have all the radar jamming fields you want over here, but if I have just a normal tank shell, and I've got my tank, I'm just gonna go bang, bang, bang. I mean, I don't get what's so, you know, I don't know, maybe, I don't see how ECM could even start to affect, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, and that T-72BU is doing an exceptional job here at killing off the Lafayette. Meanwhile, I've got my own T-72M1s, which are, not to say desperately firing in any attempt they can, but basically doing just that, and also taking up a lot of the blows for that T-72BU, which is a noble role. At this point, I hadn't been moving my mortars, and he wanted them dead. So he did what was only natural. Put a giant freaking bombing on them. Of course, a couple of mortars would not have been my target. I would have gone for, like, Malkas or something. Over the T-72 S1s managed to kill off, or at least one of these, I think, managed to kill that off. And it was just this moment of thankfulness. Maybe, I think, actually, the BU got credit for that one. I think I ended up getting the, Hatsuyuki. Oh, shoot, I'm supposed to say spoiler alert. Anyways, we got the Hatsuyuki. And, yeah, we're not doing too hot. We're just engaging it with tanks. Because, yeah, we don't have anything else to engage it with. Yeah. Very interesting approach, I would say, to killing off these ships. A boom, T-72S's, yeah, the T-72s get the credit for that. Yeah, that's just the mortars for you. These mortars are really doing a lot of damage to his ships, as crazy as that's really as crazy as that sounds. You know, he's got a ton of these M2Bs firing at him. I mean, this was just crazy, going all out, trying to kill off all of these ships. That was the biggest thing, was just kill these ships off. And because of that, they also represent an extreme amount of points just to be had here. And we're not bringing in our own ships, you know, to deal with it. We can't. And, yeah, that was not good. Putting down some attack markers, you know, hey, you know, they're thinking that probably time to get out of here with that. But, yeah, we're just blowing it up with, we're trying to blow it up with whatever we can possibly get. And that was the thing about it. It was just, whatever you got, use it. There was nothing more complicated than that. Yeah, you can just see the effect of these tanks here. They're doing a heck of a lot of damage with these. Because you think about the ships, their guns only do HE damage. And they only have a bit of armor on them. Because, you know, that's how they kind of did naval battles. So yeah, that's led a lot of people, of course, to use the makeshift, kill it with tanks approach. I know it's odd, but darn it, it works. And now we have the T-72B spam wave incoming. Yeah, this is like literally the only method we have of killing off these crazy ships. Continuously engaging whenever we can possibly engage with tanks. I do mean anything you can possibly. So yeah, we're just firing away. And at that point, he had some KA-27 PLs. Managed to kill one of the Lafayette's. Oh my gosh, thank you. But yeah, they managed to kill off one of the Lafayette. Was out here. However, we have another one. And indeed, we have a Hatsuki as well. So it's all these things that are here, and that are represented issue. From the T-72BUs and the T-72Bs are just firing away. I mean, I put this on 8 times speed, albeit. And at that point, it was not to say game over, because the scores are pretty close, actually. In fact, they are very close. At that point, I had brought in a Jingyu, a couple of my own ships, in order to try to win, but they killed off one of them. But they had earned their value back. They killed the Gripen. They killed some other stuff, you know, so. So yeah, there was that. Yeah, so because of their clever, very clever strategy, they were able to suppress any reinforcements that were coming here, thus allowing them to take Hotel. Great move on their part. Very clever tactical move that allowed them to do that. So yeah, basically the score is, you know, like when it comes to income, it's dead even. Now he's got a couple of these, what are they, the Jaegre, I'm guessing. I didn't think you could walk around that. That is cool. I didn't know you could walk around this. The fact that you can do that is very interesting. I had no clue about that. I'm being totally honest. No clue about it. He's marching around more and more of them. Because, darn it, they'll make it eventually. Speed this up. Oh, pause. We had an engagement between the T-72S and that STRV-103. That one really boiled down to RNG. I didn't like that because if my tank had just gotten one more shot and it had like a 70% chance to hit, if it hadn't gotten one more shot, you know, it would have won. And that just one of the issues I have with how Wargame works. At this point, another one of their guys surrendered after offering them an unconditional surrender. One of the fun things about Wargame. Yes, the treaty making. Yep, killed off that SCRV-103. BMP-2s, though. Yep, definitely. BMP-2s are going in and killing off those AA pieces, which were busy engaging the much less dangerous to them, but more higher price point MI-24s. At this point, it's just sort of all out, kill whatever you can kill, weapons free. BMP-2, though, going through, rounding up whatever we can find. BMP-2, though, gets an easy shot on the M109's rear. There goes some of their artillery. Also killed off that Bell. And yeah, at this point, that wasn't going to go well. They had their nice little Leopard 2A5s, very excellent main battle tanks, and yeah. That's pretty much never going to go well, or in your favor. Not to say don't try it, but it's just not. At this point, the T-72Bs, the glorious heroes of Soviet Union for destroying NATO main destroyers and cruisers, they were able to, yeah, they achieved Hero of Glory of Soviet Union status officially. At least I would give them that medal for destroying some freaking ships. And yeah, that's when the enemy decided to call it quits. Looking at the final scores, I ended up with 3,745 kills to very high losses. Highest losses on the whole team. We all took extremely heavy casualties in that game. Mostly considering, what was being done. Yeah, so we had. I thought I would have scored quite a few more points, considering I was holding main base and some of those other areas, but I guess not. Not a big deal. Anyways, if you thought that this replay was as interesting as I thought it was playing it, then please leave your comments in the description below. What do you think of blowing up ships with tanks or ECM that disrupts tank shells? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. Anyways, this is RC0538 signing off. Hope you have a good day.